Good afternoon. I'm Raine Musñgi. This is Newsfeed. Lawmakers are now warning the supposed sister of dismissed Bamban Mayor Alice Guo on how she answers questions during a Senate hearing on Guo's exit from the country. Let's get updates straight from the Senate from Agatha Gregorio. Agatha, go ahead.
Raine, I don't know is what we're mostly hearing from Alice Guo's supposed sister, Shiela Guo, in response to questions from senators. Because of this, we heard an outburst from Senator Bato de la Rosa as he accused Shiela of lying after Shiela said she was not aware that she would be fleeing the country with her supposed siblings Alice and Wesley when Alice told her they would be boarding a boat late in the night. Senator Joel Villanueva earlier told Shiela she could suffer greater penalties for responding this way as she could be breaking the law. Guo maintains she does not know the answers to some queries on where her supposed sister is and where they boarded a small boat in July to head to Malaysia. But Guo did say that she received her Philippine passport and birth certificate from whom she recognizes to be her father, Jean Guo. Shiela also admitted she was born in China and not in the Philippines, as stated in her Philippine passport. Shiela Guo responded saying that she no longer asked questions about some matters after a while, as she did not want to know the answers anymore due to their own doubts about the situation. Shiela also said Jean Guo was not her real father, but she refused to reveal who her actual father was, citing that she already has a pending case. Raine?
Agatha, do we know when else we're going to hear from Shiela Guo?
As for Shiela Guo and possibly Cassandra Leong, we may be hearing more from them as senators expect a quad committee hearing at the House of Representatives tomorrow.
Thank you so much for that report, Agatha Gregorio. The Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commissioner PAOCC has confiscated nearly 30 billion pesos worth of assets from POGOs. These include some 100 vehicles and thousands of computers. On BNC's At the Forefront, PAOCC spokesperson Winston Casio admitted they have yet to figure out what to do with the assets since these are still under investigation.
The Philippines, we've got a very weak asset management system in relation to proceeds forfeited from illicit activities. We're actually seeking the help of DOJ. Our chairman, the executive secretary, has requested DOJ provide us with a legal justification to be able to use these particular vehicles legally, that is, or if not, sell this, auction this. But then, of course, that's going to be difficult because all of these are subject to litigation.
As for foreigners arrested in raided POGO hubs, China is said to be churning out government funds to help with the deportation of their nationals. But Casio says that's not the case with other countries like Malaysia, Indonesia, and Brazil due to budget limitations in those nations. The Kingdom of Jesus Christ is appealing to police to leave their compound and stop the hunt for their leader, Apollo Quiboloy. There's cautious calm in Davao City today, a day after police forcibly dispersed Quiboloy's followers who have occupied a major highway for days. Bea De La Cruz reports.
Kailangan na rin po natin alisin ang lahat ang mga hindi witness o mga kagamitan na nakaharang sa kalsada upang hindi makaperwisyo sa mga motorista.
This was the first warning for the crowd to disperse and clear the road.
Ito po ang pangalawang babala mula sa otoridad. Kayo po ay binibigyan ng 5 minuto upang mag-disperse.
The second call comes with a more serious warning. Police say they do not want anyone to get hurt, but the protesters, members of a popular religious group in Mindanao, stood their ground. So the police moved in a matter of minutes, the crowd was pushed to the roadside. Trucks and a makeshift stage were also removed. Several people were arrested. The incident comes days after thousands of policemen attempted to arrest Apollo Quiboloy, leader of the 6 million strong Kingdom of Jesus Christ. Quiboloy, who styles himself as the appointed son of God, is wanted for human trafficking and abuse of children. He is also on the FBI's most wanted. Since Saturday, with sophisticated equipment like a heartbeat detector, similar to what rescuers use during disasters, they believe Quiboloy is underground. Members of the KOJC and their supporters, a lawyer for Quiboloy, told At the Forefront on BNC there was excessive force during the raid.
Excessive use of force is not allowed. I think 2,000 policemen in full riot gear, many of them armed. It's too much of an overkill, and it really smacks of something else, and that is trying to intimidate a certain sector of society.
But the police say the number is necessary given the size of the compound. There were allegations of human rights violations from the KOJC as well, but the PNP denies this.
Meron tayong hawak na video ngayon na nagpapakita na meron na sila doon sa isang lugar doon na mismong mga miyembro ang nagsusugat doon sa kapwa nilang miyembro, na para ipakita at isise sa mga kapulisan natin na galing yung injury nila sa ating mga kapulisan. We're just waiting na ma-authenticate po itong video na ito to show how desperate these people are, para ipakita na umaabuso yung mga pulis natin, nananakit ang mga pulis natin. But on the contrary, yung mga pulis natin ang minumura, tinatadyakan at sinasaktan, at lahat po ng klaseng pagmumura ay natanggap na po ng ating mga kapulisan.
Many call for the rule of law as authorities hunt for Quiboloy. Many are also calling on Quiboloy to surrender and end the standoff to prevent further violence. Bea De La Cruz, BNC.
Trust in President Bongbong Marcos improves in the latest Octa research survey, but the same cannot be said about Vice President Sara Duterte. From 69% in the first quarter, the president's trust rating in the second quarter rose to 71%. Duterte's numbers, on the other hand, dipped from 68 to 65%. Octa says this is the first time Marcos recorded a trust rating higher than Duterte's since they took office in 2022. The poll also shows better trust for Senate President Chis Escudero and House Speaker Martin Romualdez, and a slight drop in Chief Justice Alexander Gesmundo's rating. Japan summons a senior official at the Chinese embassy in Tokyo to lodge a protest against a Chinese reconnaissance aircraft breaching Japanese airspace on Monday. Japan's defense ministry says it had scrambled jets against the aircraft, identified as a Y-9 reconnaissance plane, which flew over the Danjo Islands west of Kyushu around midday. It adds it was the first time a Chinese military aircraft had breached Japan's airspace. Japan's foreign ministry is also demanding a stop to such breaches. Communities in Massachusetts are on alert as a deadly virus spread by mosquitoes threatens locals. The virus, the Eastern equine encephalitis, often called Triple E. As preventive measures to the spread of the virus, some towns closed parks after dusk, restricted outdoor activities, and rescheduled public events. Symptoms include fever, headache, vomiting, diarrhea, seizures, behavioral changes, and drowsiness. The Triple E virus was first identified in Massachusetts in 1938, according to the state's website. Outbreaks usually occur every 10 to 20 years and typically last 2 to 3 years. The most recent Triple E outbreak in Massachusetts was in 2019 to 2020, with 17 cases and 7 deaths. And before we go, at 102 years old, British Manette Bailey celebrated her birthday by jumping off a plane at 7,000 feet. This fearless centenarian took the skydive over Suffolk, England. Bailey, who was married to a paratrooper, served in the Women's Royal Navy service during World War II. After completing the 7,000 feet jump, Bailey is now Britain's oldest skydiver. And she did it for charity. But this isn't Bailey's first time seeking the thrill and high-speed challenge. On her 100th birthday, she drove a racing car at 209 kilometers per hour. And those are the news this hour. I'm Raine Musñgi. Stay tuned to BNC for more top-of-the-hour news on Free TV Channel 31 and also on our website, bnc.ph. Bilyonaryo News Channel, always on top.